You know, you're connected to the internet right now, but have you ever really looked at that physical cable plugged into your computer or router? That little plastic end is way more important than you think. So let's dive in and talk about the real unsung heroes of our digital world, network connectors. I mean, seriously, have you? You hear that little click, and bam, the entire world of the internet is right there. How does that one little click make it all happen? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. And trust me, it's a key concept you'll definitely want to have locked down for your exams. All right, first things first. In the world of computer networks, what is a connector? Let's get a clear definition. It's actually pretty simple. You've got your cable, and you've got your device, like your computer. The connector is that crucial piece right in the middle. It's the little piece of hardware that creates the physical link, making sure the signal from the cable can actually get into the device. You know, without it, you've just got a fancy-looking wire that does nothing. And this is the perfect way to think about it. Imagine your computer is on one side of a huge canyon, and the internet is on the other. That connector? It's the bridge. It's what allows all your data, your videos, your homework, your games, to travel safely from one side to the other. Just remember this: no bridge, no data. It's that simple. Okay, so now that we know what a connector's job is, let's meet the most famous one of them all. The one you've absolutely 100% seen before. We are talking about the RJ45. Take a good look. This right here is the RJ45. It's that clear plastic plug you see on the end of pretty much every internet cable, which we also call an Ethernet cable. It's the thing you plug into your laptop, your game console, or the back of your Wi-Fi router. It is the king of connectors for a reason. So, for your exams, here are the key things you need to nail down about the RJ45. First, it is the most common type out there. Second, it's used specifically for Ethernet cables. And third, its main job is to plug your computer into the local network. Easy, right? Simple, direct, and absolutely crucial stuff to remember.
Okay, so the RJ45 is awesome for standard Ethernet cables. But what if you have to connect two totally different kinds of cables? Like, what if your school has a new, super fast fiber optic cable running through the building, but your classroom computer only has a normal Ethernet port? You can't just jam them together, right?
And this is where our second piece of gear comes in to save the day. See, if you have two people speaking different languages, you need a translator. Well, in networking, if you have two different types of cables, you need a media converter. And this shows you exactly what I mean. A media converter is this clever little device that takes a signal from one kind of cable, say fiber optic, and it literally translates it so it can be understood by another kind, like our good old Ethernet. It basically makes sure that even if the cables are different, the data can still get through. So when would you actually need this? A perfect real-world example is in a big building, like a school. They might use super fast, high-speed fiber optic cables to connect different floors. We're talking lightning speed here. But then they'll use media converters to switch that signal over to the standard, cheaper Ethernet cables that run to each individual computer. It's all about bridging the gap between different technologies. All right, we've met our two main players. Now let's put them side by side for a quick recap. This is the kind of comparison that loves to show up on exams, so this is a great time to focus. Just look at this breakdown. Over on the left, you've got the RJ45. Its job is super straightforward. Connect a standard Ethernet cable to a device. Simple. On the right, the media converter. Its job is more specialized. It connects two different types of cables, like fiber and Ethernet. The big takeaway here is this: RJ45 is for standard connections, media converters are for translations, but both are absolutely essential for transferring that signal. And speaking of exams, here's a question that could pop up. Explain the function of a media converter with an example. And guess what? You know exactly how to answer this now. You'd say that it acts as a translator for signals between different cable types. And your go-to example is connecting a fiber optic network to a device that uses a normal Ethernet port. Perfect answer. Okay, let's wrap this all up with your final revision points. Number 1, connectors are the physical bridge for your data. Number 2, the RJ45 is the everyday standard connector for Ethernet. And number 3, media converters are the special translators for different kinds of cables. Got it? And finally, just to make sure all of this really sticks in your brain for test day, here's a little trick. For RJ45, just think regular jack, because it's the regular one you see everywhere.
And for a media converter, remember it connects conflicting cables, the 3 Cs. Hopefully that little trick helps you ace your next exam. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, you know the feeling, right? You're in the middle of a huge online game, or maybe you're streaming the final episode of a series, and boom, that dreaded buffering wheel starts spinning. We've all been there. It's so frustrating. But what if I told you the hero that can give you a super stable, lightning-fast connection has been right under your nose this whole time? So yeah, are you just sick of slow, unreliable Wi-Fi? Well, believe it or not, the solution is usually super simple. Just plug in a cable. And in this little explainer, we're going to get to know the small but mighty connector that makes all of that possible. So here's our game plan. First, we'll figure out what an RJ45 actually is. Then we'll see where it pops up in our digital world. After that, we'll take a peek at its anatomy, find out why it's such a big deal, and then wrap things up with a quick review to get you totally prepped for your exam. Sound good? Let's jump in. All right, first things first, let's pull back the curtain on this little piece of tech. Just what in the world is an RJ45?
You know, the name RJ45 might sound like some kind of secret agent code, but it's actually way simpler than that. The RJ just stands for Registered Jack, which basically means it's an official, standardized design that everyone agrees on. And the 45? That's just its number in the official list. See? Not so mysterious after all.
Okay, this is a big one, a real exam-worthy definition, so pay close attention. A registered Jack 45, or RJ45, is a standardized interface used as a universal plug for connecting Ethernet cables. The keywords there are standardized, meaning it's the same everywhere you go, and Ethernet, which is the tech that runs most of our wired computer networks. Okay, so we know what it is, but where do you actually run into this thing in real life? Let's take a look. I guarantee you've seen these everywhere. The RJ45 is literally the physical handshake that connects your devices to a network. It's that little plastic plug on the end of the cable running from your laptop, your PlayStation, or your Xbox straight into your router. It's the key that unlocks that solid wired connection to the internet. All right, now for the really cool part. Let's get our virtual magnifying glass out and really dissect this thing. We're going to take a closer look at its anatomy. So the first thing you'll notice is its shape, what we call the form factor. And the most obvious part is that little plastic clip on top. You know the one? It makes that super satisfying click when you plug it in. That click tells you it's locked in securely. This design is called the modular jack format, and it's built to be strong but also easy to unplug when you need to. Now let's zoom way in on the most important part, the interface. If you look right at the tip of the connector, you'll see 8 tiny little metal pins, usually gold or copper. These little guys are the real heroes here. They do all the heavy lifting, carrying all the data back and forth between your device and the network. Now, if there's one number you need to burn into your brain for your exam, it's this one, 8. There are 8 pins. Think of it like an 8-lane superhighway for data. Some lanes are for sending information out, and the other lanes are for bringing information in. It's this design that allows for a really powerful two-way conversation. Okay, so we get what it is and how it's built. But wait a second. We have Wi-Fi now, so why is this cable connector still so important? Well, it all comes down to performance. It boils down to 2 huge, game-changing benefits: high speed and reliability. A wired connection using an RJ45 is almost always going to be faster than your Wi-Fi. And because it's a physical connection, it is incredibly stable. It doesn't care about walls, microwave ovens, or your neighbor's Wi-Fi signal. That means no more random disconnects in the middle of a boss fight. Phew, okay, we've covered a lot. So let's slow down and do a quick review to make sure all these key points are locked in for your exams. This is the important stuff, so listen up. So when you're sitting there looking at that exam paper, what are the absolute most important things you need to remember about the RJ45 connector? Let's break it down one last time. Here are all the key terms you need to know. Make sure you remember what each of these means. Registered Jack 45. That's the full name. Ethernet, the network type. Standardized interface, meaning it's the same everywhere. Modular jack format, that's the shape with the clip. 8 pins, the key to data transfer. And of course, high speed and reliable. Those are its superpowers. And hey, here it is in a super simple table. This is perfect for some last-minute studying. Its full name is Registered Jack 45. Its purpose? To connect Ethernet cables. The key part? Those 8 pins that carry the data. And its main benefits? You got it, high speed and reliability. It really is that simple. So if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. If you need a rock-solid, high-speed connection that absolutely won't let you down, going wired with an RJ45 is always the right call. And there you have it. Now you know exactly what's behind that satisfying little click of your internet cable. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? How does data actually travel through those 8 tiny pins? Well, that's a whole other story for another time. Keep asking questions. Have you ever wondered how your school's super fast internet, the fiber optic stuff, can possibly connect to the older computers in the library? It's like they speak 2 completely different languages, right? Well, there's a special little translator doing all the hard work behind the scenes, and today we're going to find out exactly what it is. Here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the problem of connecting these 2 different worlds. Then, we'll get a solid definition of what a media converter is. After that, we'll dive into how the magic actually happens, why we even need them in the first place, and finally, I'll give you the perfect exam cheat sheet to wrap it all up. So, let's get into it. All right, let's start with section 1, connecting 2 different worlds. You can really just think of this as the problem of 2 languages. So in networking, we're dealing with 2 main types of cables. On one hand, you've got your traditional copper cables. They're pretty standard. They send information using electrical signals, but they don't work over long distances, and they can get easily messed up by interference from other electronics. We call that EMI. But then, on the other hand, we have the modern superstar, fiber optic cables. These things are incredible. They use pulses of light to send data, can go for miles and miles, and are completely immune to that annoying electrical interference. So the big question is, how do you get these 2 to play nice together? Well, that's where the hero of our story comes in. So for section 2, let's meet the media converter, the hero that does all the translating. Okay, get your notes ready because this is a big one. A media converter is a device in computer networks that's used to connect different kinds of cables. Its whole job is to act like a bridge between them. This lets 2 technologies that normally couldn't communicate understand each other perfectly. Definitely a definition you'll want to remember for your exams. And I love this image because the bridge analogy is just perfect. A media converter is quite literally a bridge. You've got the copper world on one side and the super fast fiber optic world on the other. The converter just sits right in the middle and lets all the data traffic flow back and forth without a problem. It really captures its main job beautifully. Okay, so we know what it is. Now let's jump into section 3 and see how the magic actually happens, how it turns electricity into pure light. The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. You can break it down into 3 simple steps. First, step 1 is receive. The converter gets the electrical signals from a copper cable. Step 2 is convert. This is its main trick. It translates that electrical signal into a light signal. And finally, step 3 is send. It shoots that new light signal out through a fiber optic cable. See? Receive, convert, send. Easy. This picture shows the whole thing in action, but I want you to pay close attention to that little note at the bottom. This is so important, and it trips people up on exams all the time. This whole process works both ways. A media converter can also take the light signals coming from a fiber optic cable and turn them back into electrical signals for a copper one. It's a 2-way translator, physically changing the signal type no matter which direction the data is going. So we know what it is, we know how it works, but why do we actually need them? Let's get into section 4 and talk about the real-world problems these little boxes solve. Media converters are basically amazing problem solvers. They tackle 2 huge issues. First up is distance. Like we said, copper cables just can't go that far. If you need to connect 2 buildings that are far apart, you're stuck. Well, not anymore. You just use a media converter to switch over to fiber optic, and you can extend your network way further. The second problem is performance. Let's be honest, sometimes you just need more speed. Copper is slow, but fiber is like a rocket ship. A media converter lets you upgrade parts of your network to fiber, giving you that incredible speed boost right where you need it. Okay, it's clear these things are super useful, but where would you actually bump into one of these in the real world? You'll find them basically anywhere different network systems have to talk to each other. Think about your own school. They're probably used to connect the main server to a computer lab in a totally different building. You'll see them in big offices connecting different floors, and you'll definitely find them in giant data centers where speed is everything, but they still have older equipment that needs to connect. They're really the unsung heroes of modern networks. Okay, everybody, pencils up. This is probably the most important part for your exams. It's time for Section 5, your exam cheat sheet. Let's make sure these key ideas are locked in. This little table has everything you need to know. Let's do a quick run-through. What's its role? To connect copper and fiber cables. What's the mechanism? It converts electrical signals to light signals, and don't forget, back again. What's the main benefit? It solves distance problems and boosts your speed. And where do you find them? In places like schools, offices, and data centers. Honestly, this is the perfect slide to screenshot for your study notes.
All right, here's a pro tip just for you guys. A super common mistake people make on exams is forgetting that the conversion works in both directions. It's not just a one-way street from copper to fiber, it's also fiber to copper. Remember, the converter is a two-way translator. Don't lose easy points on that one.
And to make this all even easier to remember, I've got a little memory trick for you. Just think of giving your network some TLC. T is for translator, because it translates the signals. L is for long distance, because it helps your network go further. And C is for connections, because it connects different cables. TLC.
So, there you have it. We've seen how this little box is a crucial translator for our digital world. And that leaves us with one final thought. Now that you know how these network worlds get connected, what other translators can you spot in the technology you use every single day? It's a pretty cool thing to think about. Thanks for tuning in.